Good afternoon, Nigerians at home. How are you today? Welcome to Development Pillars. This is the last edition for 2023. We thank you so much for the way you have supported us since this time began. We thank you for your feedback. We thank you for your SMS messages. We thank you for your tweets. And we thank you particularly for how you follow up after each episode by going to the YouTube channel of KAFTAN TV to watch the program, and also visiting the YouTube channel of Inspire Nigeria Development Pillars. Thank you so much for coming with us on this program today. We pray that as you are rounding up 2023, God will still do great and mighty things in your life that will make the year to end well for you. And we pray that God will give you a wonderful 2024. On Development Pillars today, I have with me a young man who loves Nigeria passionately and who wants to see a good Nigeria emerge in his lifetime. He is the project officer of Inspire Nigeria Initiative, and his name is Mr. Prince Will Eze. Prince Will, welcome to Development Pillars.
Thank you so much for having me on the studio.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Today we are looking at the most important pillar of development in the life of any society or nation. You know, when you talk about the pillars of health, education, environment, social amenities, infrastructure, transportation, and so on and so forth, these pillars are built by people. So the most important pillars of development are the people. So today we are going to look at, what role do people play in helping a nation to scale up development. For example, we hear the story of Singapore, and we have a certain man called Lee Kuan Yew. He was a people pillar. And he decided to say, look, our country is bigger than this, is better than this. We can actually make this country great and become one of the most talked about in the whole world. And then he also gathered good people like him together, and they built a country that is today the envy of the world. So I'd like us to begin with a little demonstration. So you can see these building blocks here. These are bricks that children play with. But we are taking it today beyond the level of play. These building blocks actually represent us as Nigerians. Whether you are a minister, whether you are a senator, whether you are the president, whether you are a governor, whether you are a local government chairman, whether you are just an ordinary man on the street, a student, a youth corper, a security officer, whoever you are as a Nigerian, this pillar represents you. And then it means that every one of us as pillars of development in the people pillar category, we play very crucial roles. And then when we make ourselves available and we show up, with good thoughts, like Lee Kuan Yew, saying that I am going to offer meritocracy as I make myself available to serve as a youth corper, to serve in the private sector where I work, to serve in the military, to serve as a politician, elected officials, or appointed public office holders. You show up as pillar, and how you do the work determine whether we'll be able to build a nation successfully or not. So because people pillar matter, and people can review their performance and see whether they are doing well or they are not doing well. So they have the opportunity to say, okay, you know what? I've reviewed the way I performed this year as governor. I've reviewed the way I performed this year as senator. I've reviewed the way I performed this year as director general, executive secretary, a youth corper, a female pillar, a male pillar, whatever office I occupy, and I think I didn't do well. So I'm going to make what they call New Year resolution, so that in 2024, I will offer better service of myself to the nation. So assuming, for example, that in this enterprise, we want to say, okay, let's build the House of Nigeria. And in building this House of Nigeria, everybody matters. It pains me, Mr. Prince Will, when I hear a public servant complaining Nigeria is not good, the government is not working. I've even heard people who occupy position of power in government, like director generals, executive secretaries, some of them that I'm privileged to move with, that are my friends, they will complain, we don't know what government is doing, government is not working, because they do not understand that we are the government. Every one of us, we are part of these pillars to build a good society. So now we look at this. So how can we build a house? from what we have here. We will need 2 of these, but if this is not available, it has not destroyed the purpose of what we are trying to do. So we can just see how we can make 2 together, and bring these 2 together. And then I think it's looking okay, Abby?
Yes.
Okay, so we have to make ourselves deliberately available to be used to help our nation, Nigeria, work. Nigeria must work. Nigeria must work. And every one of us have a role to play. You can see that it's wobbling just because this one, we do not have exactly the same as this.
Yes.
So what do? We can find a way to, can that be okay?
Yes.
Okay, so I think we are not doing too badly, Abby.
No, we aren't.
Okay, so what else can we do? We can, let's see if it's working. Where it's not working, it's not a crime if it's not working to say, okay, this didn't work. That's why resolution comes in. So we have to rebuild it and see how we can make it work. So viewers at home, and we are just building the house of Nigeria. I want to see how far we can be able to achieve success in making this happen. Okay, is this, it's not going to be equal to, so if we put this one here, yeah, so I think it's yes, it's working now. Yes. Okay, so what can we further do? Yeah. Okay, let's see if there's anything we can do further to make it. We have to build the house of Nigeria, and the house of Nigeria have to be successful. So you can see, so that's why you see trial and error in some of the policies of government. Now you see why we are okay. This is where we had problem actually. Okay, so okay, you can see this is supposed to be the same, but look at what we have problem. This is already broken. So when some things are damaged in the system, so some character damage. For example, a DG that is stealing government money, stealing 91 billion naira, and then so you make the building to have problems. So character damage can destroy what we are trying to build. So, but we can still make the house taller. Yeah, I think we are good like this. Are we not good? Yeah, we're not doing so badly.
No, we aren't.
We're not doing so badly. So, okay. Is there space for this one here? It's looking as if it's not fit. So if you use a misfit, it makes it, you can see it's solid.
Yes.
But when you use something that is not the right thing, you can see it becomes okay. So it's not you can see it's not just catching.
Yes.
So every one of us have a place that fits us in the agenda of building our nation. And so what you have to do is to look for your place and then make the okay. So it's not as if they are all useless, but ultimately what we are trying to do is to, okay, I think we have a house.
Yes, we do.
We do? Okay, so shall we do it this way? And let's see the way you can see it's not a, so we have a house. So, do we have a house?
Actually, we do.
We have a house. Okay, so this is how we need to all put our best together to build a nation that is sustainable, a nation that is progressive, a nation that is beautiful for everyone. So when the nation is beautiful for you, why do you want to japa to? By the way, where do you want to japa to? Are you planning of japaring? Because many youths want to japa. What's your story about japa?
That seems to be the syndrome in Nigeria these days. And if you look at it in a way, you won't blame them because things have not really been working the way they should in Nigeria. And whenever such human beings get the opportunity to try their luck in a better place that has better environment and better promise, you won't blame them for wanting to try their luck in those other places. But I believe, just like you have said, if we avail ourselves to bring out what is in us, to see to it that Nigeria works, then there will be no need for any japa.
We can make Nigeria to work. You can see we still have materials here that can be used, or that can be on standby. So if you are not in government today, you are part of these, raw materials that are still standing on the block. It doesn't mean that you are wasted. But people feel that they must be in government only to be useful. You don't have to be in government alone to be useful. And you can see before it was scattered all over. So this is already a critical mass that is standing by. Don't forget that this one was broken from somewhere. So, but you still have a critical mass that is standing. So there's a role that each and every one of us can play, in making our country work.
Definitely.
Even if you are not in the main building, which is government, you are in the, in the public, you are in the society.
True.
And in the society, you can also work with people of like mind, and then make the country work.
Definitely.
So in making resolutions, so let's start first of all from the individual. So from this little demonstration that we have done, you can see that everybody has a role to play.
Definitely.
Whether you are in government or you are outside government. So what will you think, what will you say to Nigerians individually who are not in government? We address people in government shortly, but what do you say to them about the role they need to play individually in the resolution they must make for 2024 to become better citizens, not just armchair critics who stand by the roadside criticizing. What can you do yourself? What resolution do you need to make as a private citizen to make Nigeria move forward?
Okay. I think this where we need to actually come to light in this matter is check yourself as an individual. Someone once said the highest form of deception is self-deception.
Self-deception.
So if we want to be really sincere with ourselves, you ask yourself, me as a person, as an individual, as a man in my house, as a father, let's bring it out to the family setting now. As a father, have I led my family well this year? As an individual, have I done things well the way it should be done this year? Ask yourself that question and be sincere with yourself. You can actually rate yourself maybe from 1 to 10.
Because the building block of the nation is the society.
It starts with the
family.
person.
Yes,
it starts
family.
with individual,
Yes.
then to the family, then to the community, before we now take it to the larger front, which is the national community. Now, individually, ask yourself, in this year 2023, how have I fared in the office I work, in the family where I belong? If I'm to rate myself on a scale of 1 to 10, can I rate myself 10 over 10? Can I rate myself 9 over 10, which is actually a very good score too? Can I rate myself 8 over 10, which is also a good score? Now, if you can't rate yourself from 7, 8, 9, or 10 over 10, then it then means there is room for improvement. You can do something better to see to it that you contribute a better result for a better country as we enter 2024. That's on an individual level. Now, as a man of the house, as a father, you ask yourself that same question. Have I led my family well? Because if you cannot lead your family, how do you think you can lead a country?
A useless father will be a useless citizen.
That is it. If you cannot lead your family, you cannot lead a community, how then can you be an effective national leader? So as a father, you ask yourself that question also. Have I led my family well this year? Then you grade yourself. 10 over 10, 9 over 10, 8 over 10. Be sincere with yourself. When you can grade yourself sincerely and honestly, then you will know that there is always room for improvement.
How about the youth before we go for a break? How about the youth?
The youths, well, there is a lot we need to do. That is just the truth. There is a lot we need to do. A lot of things have been happening even over the past. The year is about coming to an end. A lot is happening. What I think the youth need.
The youth in Yahoo, the youth in kidnapping, the youth in all manner of vices.
That is it. I feel the one of the bane of this issue is education. An educated person, an enlightened mind, will not want to get himself or herself involved in such vices. And now, why do I say that? There is a quote by a very popular figure who has passed, an American by the name Malcolm X. He said, education is the passport to the future, because tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today.
Yeah.
Now, why do I want to focus on that education aspect? If someone knows a proper way to do something to get the results he really needs to get, I don't see why he wants to subject himself to such vices that can endanger his life and cut him off.
So the youth, you are saying in a nutshell that the youth of Nigeria should not only focus on being educated, they should focus on self-education. The things that I'm doing, how does it affect the society? How can I make myself better?
Yes.
So as you go towards 2024, one of the resolutions you must make as a young person is that you want to become more useful to your country next year and useful to yourself. Okay, so hold the thought for now. We will come back after this break. Please don't change the dial. You are still watching Development Pillars. Thank you. Welcome back to Development Pillars. We are still talking on resolutions for development today. You know, as the year is winding up, every year, people make resolution. I will do this next year, I will do that next year. Unfortunately, most of the resolution they make focus on me, myself, and I. And you know, it is people that are the building blocks of any society. It is people that are the building blocks of a nation. And you saw how we have demonstrated for you earlier how we have used these blocks to build a house, and we said that these blocks represent each and every one of us, and because it is we the people that become public servants, that become security operatives, soldiers, navy, air force, police, you know, civil defense, and so on and so forth. It is we the people that are working in the hospital as nurses, as doctors, you know, as lab technicians. So when we say, oh, Nigerian hospitals are not good, you know, this night it is not good in Nigeria, that is not good in Nigeria, it is the people that are not good. So how do we make up our mind individually to say that, look, for myself, for my family, for my society, and for Nigeria, I will be a better person next year? And you have just spoken about what the youth can do to speak to themselves so that we can be able to cut out the issue of vices that are too prevalent among the youth. Now, let's focus on organizations. For example, Nigerian police. I feel that one of the resolutions that Nigerian police, you know, top management should make for 2024 to make them perform better is to review a few things that are not working in our security architecture. For example, we live in a country where it is very difficult to say that we have a robust data of everybody that is a Nigerian. You know, in developed climate, you have the data, you have information on everybody. So but in a country where you cannot boast that you have information on everybody, that everybody has been printed, you know, that all your 10 fingers are with the police and so on and so forth, Nigerian police now give permission to people to be using a special police number, SPY, SPY. So you see so many individuals doing all manner of businesses that you cannot even say that, oh, this is what this person is doing. And you see them having SPY police number in their vehicles. And then you see private citizens who are not, you know, in governance, who are just working for themselves, having police bodyguard up and down, up. And, you know, Inspector General of Police, when he just came, said that he was going to withdraw those kinds of, you know, services from private citizens so that we can have more people protecting our citizens. If we have enough policing, you know, both for intelligence and then for securing, you know, for effective policing, community policing. What happened in Plateau that about 200 people were just murdered in one night by bandits or terrorists, whatever name they call themselves, wouldn't have happened. So one of the resolutions I look forward to see police making is to put an end to this idea of giving a police special number plate for private citizens. Why do I need a police number in my car? Why? So it is possible for someone that is doing shady businesses, you know, because he has friends in the top echelon of police, to get that number, and then he is protected by policemen to commit crime against the society, against the citizens. So what do you think about this, Mr. Princeway?
Well, you have said it all. You have said it all. I belong to the school of thought that as a private individual running a private business, you actually don't have any business recruiting federal police personal bodyguards. No, that kind of thing should be left for private security companies. That is why we have them. Private security companies have been set up in different facets of the country,
supervised by civil defense, regulated by civil defense,
regulated by the civil defense. Thank you.
Yes.
So I don't think private citizens who are running their own private businesses, they don't have any business recruiting.
With police carrying guns, following them up and down, sleeping in their houses.
No, that is,
you know, washing their cars.
That is a misplacement of priority. That actually should be done by private security companies, which we have everywhere. So so IG Egbetokun, we are appealing to you. One of the resolutions you have to make sure that Nigeria is more secure is by following through your initial pronouncement to withdraw, you know, policemen from private citizens. You know, even the public officers that are police are following up and down. We have to look at that and review that. And you know, Nigeria is under police, as you know yourself. And then if you stop this, this habit of giving
police spy number to private people. Initially, it started with the bank, but now it's gone beyond bank. You see, private vehicles driving in the city with spy number and with tinted plate number, so you don't actually know who is inside the car. And so as we are trying to make Nigeria more secure in 2024, this is one of the areas we have to look into. And then to the National Assembly, one of the resolutions you have to make, and then to the president, is this issue of state police. Nigeria is under police. Nigeria is severely under police. And then you take policeman from Sokoto to go and be protecting people in Bayelsa, and then policeman from Bayelsa, you take them to Maiduguri. They don't know the terrain very well. So we have dilly-dally on this for too long. If we really want Nigeria to be more secure in 2024 and promote development aggressively in our country, one of the things we have to do is we have to release. We have to go down to this issue that we have been dodging for too long. We need state police. We'll be able to improve intelligence. We'll be able to nip crimes in the bud. We'll be able to protect our people and prevent the kind of callous waste of life that happened in Plateau, just a few days ago. It's not right, and we need to look into that. And then to the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you have been a big champion for reforms. For reforms, for true federalism, promoting true federalism in Nigeria. It will not be good for you to waste that opportunity now that God has given you the chance to be the president of Nigeria. And the best time to do it is 2024. Don't wait, any longer, because if you wait before you know what happened, they begin to play politics with this very critical issue. Nigeria's capacity for greatness, to fly, to succeed, will be unlocked if we can address this issue of promoting the necessary reforms and promoting true federalism in Nigeria, and deregulating the country, deregulating the economy, and make sure that the country is given the capacity to release its wings and let the eagles fly. This is some of the things that we want to suggest to you as resolution that you should make for 2024. Before our time runs out, we will need to speak about education. One of the issues that have generated a lot of controversy in 2023 is the issue of education. The government introduced what you call a student loan, and there were so many people, who criticized it. Educated people spoke against it. People say it was too small, it was too little, but we didn't look at the total environment of the policy. For example, how is this done in other society? We know that there are presidents of countries that use student loan, and some of them just finished paying less than 10 years ago. Sure. So I think the way to go is to critically understudy countries that have student loan. Look at a case of United States, for example. Education is free, qualitative, and compulsory at the primary level. So the parents are able to save the money, huge money, sure, that they pay in private school for primary education. Yeah. They are able to save that, they are able to invest. Then education is free, compulsory, and qualitative in secondary school. True. So parents are also able to save the money. So an average parent in Nigeria who has been able to take his one child through school from primary to secondary has spent over 7 or 8 million naira. Sure. Imagine if you have invested this 7 or 8 million naira over a space of 6 years plus 6 years. Yeah. That's 12 years. Yes. The money will have become so much in your account that when your ward enter into university, you don't even need a loan from anybody. They don't even need student loan in any way, and you'll be able to put them through school conveniently. So abroad, people are able to save money from primary education, from secondary education. The government has taken off their back, and then they feed them, and the school bus carry them. So I think government should, Minister of Education, Professor Mamantai, you will need to look at this, sir. I know you have declared, you have done a very wonderful summit on education, but you need to look at this and see how can we, do this thinking around education in Nigeria. Let's do this massive stakeholders meeting, and then let's do these reforms that we need to do, such that education in Nigeria will become qualitative, free, and then compulsory at the primary and secondary level. Then parents will be able to, they'll be able to carry the burden of their students' education in the university. And then you can now turn the universities to charge fees, because government has taken care of what matters in primary and secondary school. So that's the way it's abroad. So that's why every American child pays school fees abroad. Only that they have, the rate for citizens is different from the rate for international students. Now they also made it so, so difficult. So as it was, okay, let's say strategic, in a way that a foreign student, for example, international student, is paying almost 4 times or 3 times what the citizen is paying. So they are also able to generate massive income. So if we are able to, do this, our university will get enough money to actually develop. And then there will be nothing like ASU strike anymore, because government is no longer in putting hand in university education. So ASU will no longer go on strike, NASU will no longer go on strike. So you can do 4 years course in 4 years, and then your children can graduate. Quality will be improved. And then I think these are the areas that government should look into. What do you say, sir, about education before we round up?
Well, like I initially stated, there is also another quote that says, if you think education is expensive, try ignorance.
Yes.
Now, the budget for education for this year, I think, is around 1.5 trillion naira. Now, if you check that with the budget of a country like, let's say, America, America's budget for education for 2024 is $90 billion.
$90 billion.
Converting that to Nigeria, that is over 8.5 trillion.
Because they invest most of this money in the primary sector
that
and
is,
the secondary
that is what we are talking about. Now, you can say, yes, the Nigerian government investing 1.5 trillion naira in the education. You might feel it's a huge amount, but it's actually not a huge amount, because according to UNESCO recommendations, that amount is far below what UNESCO recommended. So what are we saying? We need to invest more in this education of a thing, because that is actually the pillar that carries every other pillar of national development.
And if we do this, Mr. Prince will invest hugely, make education qualitative, free and compulsory in primary and secondary. Most of the stealing that take place in our public service, because most of the people that are stealing to support their children's education, send them to school in UK, send them to school in Malta, in Turkey, all over the world, in Canada, everywhere. So that will help us, and Nigeria will be better. In concluding, viewers at home, you can see what it took us to build the House of Nigeria. It's more difficult to build. It's very difficult to build, but it's very easy to destroy. Now look at this house that we have built. You can see it's so easy to scatter the house, and then but so we don't want this house to be scattered. So please put it back. You can. So we want our house to remain intact. So please, let's develop ourselves. Let's promote unity. Let's promote national interest. Most of us are driven by self-interest, and that's why we are not able to. Our truth in Nigeria is no longer parallel, it's not aligning, because interests are the one driving the things that we are doing. Personal interest. Let's become people who focus more on national interest than personal interest as we move towards the next year. And if we have all our governors, senators, honorables, director generals, executive secretaries, local government chairmen, government functionaries, presidents, the chief of staff, all the people around them, the ministers, focusing on national interest, Nigeria can turn around in a way that will amaze the world in just a space of 4 years. Nigeria is ours to build. So please, let's join us together and build this country. This is development pillars. We will be see you again in the next year, the new year, by the grace of God, 2024. We pray that God will keep us alive and bless our country. God bless you. God bless Nigeria. See you next year. Bye-bye.